Hi, and welcome to this information session on core strength. And this is really about helping your little ones assume the dead ant and Superman poses, which are some really simple exercises you can do to build up their core strength. In this information session, we're going to go through why is strength so important, how to get ready for Superman, how to do Superman and dead ant, and what else you can do at home to help. And just to remember, to the light side of things, core strength is something we might all hear about throughout our life, especially if you go to a personal trainer or at the gym. It's always about core fitness and strength. So what is core strength? Core strength refers to our postural stability. We often see children who lack core strength might slump at their desk at school. They might sit hunched on the mat. They also might fidget and wiggle a lot because they just don't have the energy and endurance to sit upright on a mat. And they often fatigue quickly. So these might be the children that have that quick snooze in the car trip on the way home. What we do know is that when we build our core strength, it makes our bodies more efficient and allows our bodies to have the energy to last longer during the day. And when we last longer, it means our bodies are more available for learning and making that most of that opportunity in the classroom. So core strength really emerges as an infant when we get into 4-point kneeling and being able to crawl on all 4 points. But it can be something we can build up throughout our life, and we need to have good, strong core muscles to help maintain good balance when we're sitting, but it really allows us to learn for longer during the day. So it's something we can naturally achieve through short bursts of practice throughout the day. So the core strength things that we look at, that we test to see if a child has adequate core strength, two of the main things we look at is their ability to have good core muscles of their tummies and good core muscles of their back and extensors. So this pose here we call the dead ant, and this is looking at tummy muscles and neck muscles. And this one is called Superman, and this is looking at the back muscles and leg muscles. Here we have an example of the Superman pose where we're looking at the strength of the back, legs and bottom muscles. So we're going to ask the child to assume the Superman pose where they lift their legs off the floor, keep their legs long and toes pointed, arms off the floor, and head and neck and shoulders off the floor. So here we've got beautiful extension, nice strong legs. And again, this pose a child in kindy should be able to hold for 20 seconds. Going into pre-primary year 1, you should be able to push longer than 20 seconds. Devaney, you're going to show us how sometimes children might bend their knees and their feet come back towards their head. Sometimes you'll see this occurring, but you really want to focus on the legs getting long and straight. So legs long and straight, beautiful. If your little one finds it tricky to get into this Superman pose, you can break this down into a couple of different stages where we focus on just lifting the arms off the floor. So Devaney's going to show us the cobra pose, which is a yoga pose, which is where her hands come under her shoulders and she lifts her upper body off the floor so her arms are nice and long and straight and lift her head up to the floor. This is really good at practicing our extension. Devaney's going to show us how to just lift the upper body off the floor, this time with the hands coming off as well. So can you lift your upper body off the floor, Devaney, and your hands coming off the floor? Devaney's going to show us how we can lift one leg off the floor now. So one leg comes up, then the other leg, and then you can teach them how to do both legs together. So both legs come up, Devaney. Good. So there we have an example of how you can break down the Superman pose, which is often quite tricky for children. And we can break it into teaching the extension concept. So the cobra pose from yoga is a really simple one to get an extension pattern. But then also just lifting the arms off the floor when your body is laying flat on the floor, and then alternating the legs and then lifting both legs off the floor together. Then you can put the whole pose together. It'll make it much easier for your child. The next pose we're going to talk about is dead ant, where we're looking at the strength of the tummy muscles. Here we have an example of how to perform the dead ant. This is looking at the strength of the tummy muscles. First of all, we ask the child to bring their knees up to their belly, give their knees a hug and lift their head off the floor. We're wanting a child in kindy to hold this for at least 20 seconds And as the child gets older, they should be able to hold this for up to 30 to 40 seconds. Having good strength in the tummy muscles helps us stay up nice and strong on sitting at a mat or at a desk for our working. Notice if the child rocks to the side or if they use lots of effort to hold their breath while they're holding this pose. Here we have a reminder of what the two poses look like and what we're aiming for. With the Superman, the arms and chest are off the floor, and with the knees, that they are off the floor as well, and legs are long and toes are pointed. With the dead ant, the head's nice and off the floor, and the knees are coming in close to the belly. It's probably easier for this pose. You could encourage the child to look at their knees whilst they're doing it. So what else can you do at home to help build core strength? Lots of things like animal fun walks such as frog jumping, duck waddles, crab walks, bear walks. Playing on the fitball by bouncing on it, walking over it. Lots of physical activity is a really simple way. But also just general crawling and climbing games, even through furniture at home, under the table, over the cushions. Yoga, gymnastics, dancing. And a really key one is limiting the child's screen time. For children that are aged 5 to 12, the Australian Department of Health Physical Activity Guidelines state that children should have no more than 2 hours screen time but maintain 60 minutes of physical activity. And when we're on a screen, we tend to be sedentary, so that has a really negative effect on our core strength. So by maintaining physical activity, avoiding and limiting screen time where possible, we can definitely help our children achieve better core strength. You've been watching Little Peeps Occupational Therapy for Kids, and I hope you enjoyed this information session on building core strength.